Market Matt Justice, Tackle Trading, bringing you Tackle today, breaking down all of the market activity, the important technical battles, the important news, the catalysts, the themes in less than 10 minutes for you each day. Let's get right at it. Perhaps the most important technical battle in the market is happening in the NASDAQ right now. It's one of those days. We've seen them often recently. The rotational trade holding its own, pressure in tech. But Matt, this technical battle, if tech breaks, we've seen it also drag down the other areas of the market for a couple of days. Matt, break down this important technical battle in the charts that you find significant.
Yeah, I think the most important chart in the entire market as we're navigating the next few days in the market with a tremendous amount of information coming in from an earnings perspective and an economic perspective is the 20-period moving average on the weekly chart. As we're navigating this market correction, as the market is going through a pullback phase on the NASDAQ and specifically the AI tech trade that has shown some weakness over the last 2 to 3 weeks. Well, if that weakness is starting to come to a conclusion, the 20-period moving average on the weekly chart is certainly a viable area on the chart to see that turnaround story. And so this week, we are going to be navigating that 20-period moving average. It's a very important support level. If it does not hold, it does look like it wants to sell off a little bit more. Now, on the flip side, Chucky, we're not seeing that selling pressure in the entire market itself, as you are looking at the equal weighted index of the S&P 500 on RSP. That was a recent breakout, and now it's playing defense above the breakout channel with a hammer candle just last week going into the breakout. And your doji here today and this week so far, and that makes a lot of sense to me given the fact that you are in front of the Fed tomorrow and you're in front of Microsoft, Apple, AMD from an earnings perspective, Amazon from an earnings perspective. And so it does make sense for a little bit of hesitation. But once again, the most important chart in the market is the NASDAQ, given the fact that you are setting at that major support level. And then secondarily, Mark, I would say IWM, kind of looking at the rotationary trade and looking at that 225 level on IWM. You're looking at a high base type technical formation that is obviously starting to slow down a little bit as we are consolidating right in front of that potential breakout. If we're going to see another leg in the market on IWM, it's going to start with the breakout of 225. And if we're going to start to see the recalibration of the entire market, it's going to be in conjunction with the breakout of IWM and a support build on the Qs itself. And so lots of really important technical scenarios happening right now, right in the same timeline as a lot of important economic and earnings data is coming into the market. Once again, I've been saying it for the last couple of days. I'll say it here today as well. The most important moments in the market are over the next 3 days, given the fact that we have that much information coming into the market simultaneously as the market is trying to recalibrate here.
Yeah, let's get to the economic data today. We got a lot of stuff coming on the rest of the week, Fed meeting as such. You're going to have a little bit of economic data every day. Jolts numbers, the job openings, and consumer confidence, both slightly better than expected. This is a little bit of a trend. It's very normal to happen as expectations lower. You start to beat those numbers and those lowered expectations. Now, this data will be forgotten in a few days, but it should be noted about this little trend. We saw this with GDP last week. We saw this with services PMI. We have seen numbers beat expectations. We'll see if that continues on and how that fits the narrative. Matt, let's get into earnings real quick. You are the earnings expert at Tackle Trading. You are just amazing doing this. What companies have you selected to highlight today?
Yeah, we got a few companies that are reporting earnings here today, and it's a little bit of a lead off going into the big hitters coming out later on tonight with AMD, for example. You got Microsoft, Apple, Amazon later on as well. But in that precursor, we got Procter & Gamble, we got Merck, we got Pfizer, you got Phillips 66, Howmet, and Cisco Systems out there. Just very quickly, rapid fire style, Procter & Gamble came out with beats, Merck came out with the beat as well, but decreased guidance. Pfizer came out with beats, a really good beat on Pfizer. They also increased forward-looking guidance. So when you're looking at the first 3 stocks here, Procter & Gamble, Merck were kind of misses, in line, but a little bit of misses, some concerning data coming on the guidance side. Pfizer did not have that. They came out with one of the better beats in healthcare, 33%. Revenue also did top that 4% growth, but it was the increase in guidance that really stood out there. I'd say Pfizer out of these three was the clear winner. Very
a hat trick for a company that's at the bottom of the chart after being beat up for the last year. Sign me up.
Yeah, I would definitely say Pfizer is the best of that bunch. Those three, you're talking about a mid-tier breakout right now post earnings. So as long as you hold 30, Pfizer looks really, really good on that bottoming formation. There's no doubt about that. But I wanted to, I don't know if I would give them the best earnings of the day. They're certainly there, but I felt like the technical combination of Phillips 66 was good. I thought Howmet had a really good report too. The two best reports of the day, Howmet Aerospace, they had an absolute standout there. Beats as well as an increasing forward-looking guidance. Pfizer as well. So the two best reports here today clearly were Pfizer coming off the low point, Howmet coming from the top, not HEM, HWM coming from the top rope here. And obviously Howmet gap out, run away. You're going to have to see a secondary pattern there. I'm not sure about that on Pfizer. But don't sleep on Phillips 66 here from a technical perspective. Pfizer's a better earnings, Howmet's a better earnings, but Phillips 66 looks really, really good.
It's a fantastic chart, Matt. When you said, look, you go look at that chart on the weekly, and I started salivating. I mean, I was like, wow, that thing is just gorgeous. All right, let's go look at commodities. Obviously, Fed meeting is going to influence the dollar. Unemployment report is going to influence the dollar. So our major catalysts for commodities are coming up this week. Dollar showing a little perk. The general commodity sell-off, Matt, is still in force. We see oil down, we see copper down, we see iron ore down. You know, it's been a brutal 2.5 week stretch in the commodity complex. The dollar not doing it any favors. Gold has stood out in its yeah, we don't want to participate in any of those reindeer game sell-offs. Matt, what are you seeing commodities?
Yeah, slight economic beats here to start the week. Dollar's up a little bit. Hesitation in the rest of the commodity space. Once again, you got the Fed tomorrow. It's going to be dollar impacted first and foremost, but you got other international central banks reporting as well. Dollar's going to have some volatility. There's no doubt about that. And if you expect volatility out of the dollar, you're going to expect volatility out of the commodity space as well. Gold's just kind of hovering, hesitating, nothing really to see here yet. Silver trying to build a $28 support level. We'll see if they can be successful in doing that. The one area that I think interests us more than any on the directional side is if we can get a bottoming formation on copper as you're starting to fight that 200-day moving average. You look at that on the weekly chart, it got massive support level right around 405, and so you got a lot of support on copper, and so silver's kind of in no man's land. Gold's a little bit hesitation, and the one that's coming from the low point is that copper chart, but you're going to need a little bit more development here. You can't just say a low base at a support level is good enough. You want to see proper development there, but copper does catch our attention for some potential bottoming formations.
For an extended conversation, come join us at tackletrading.com in our Traders Lounge, where Matt and I answer questions and talk markets in a more extended fashion. You can sign up for a free trial at tackletrading.com. We'll be back tomorrow, Matt, doing this same video, and it is going to be a busy 24 hours to report on. Give us some highlights of what's going on in the next 24 hours and send us out.
Yeah, like I said, big day tomorrow, and over the course of the next 24 hours, we got the Fed tomorrow, we got the Bank of Japan tomorrow, we got the Treasury unveiling August, October issuance plans tomorrow as well. And on the earnings front, we got tier 1 companies, Microsoft, AMD reporting earnings, tier 2, ANET and Boeing, and tier 3, MasterCard and Starbucks, all reporting earnings tomorrow. If you like the Tackle Today video and it helps you navigate and understand the market on a day in, day out basis, make sure to give us a nice little like and share. And thanks for watching the video, and thanks for being the best part of Tackle Trading.